We're bringing you a brand new technique, painting a top coat with resin. We started out a regular pour in our brand new crystal edge round mold, and it was going along well. The colors were blending beautifully. There you see the back of it in a time lapse, just curing. But because of the weather, or because I might have had some wet mica powder, we've had unseasonably cold weather here in Florida. As you'll see, the reveal here leaves a reveal or a finished piece that's less desirable than most. There's some white blobs there. I did like the red mica on the edges, but I was like, what can I do with this? So I mixed up some black and white pigment paste in some deep pour resin. And I said, let me try and paint the top of this. There's the white pigment paste. And I did seal the edges, the crystal edges with latex. And this mold, the crystal edges do come up a little bit, so it forms a barrier. I had tried this last year sometime and it all spilled off the edges. There's some silicone oil that I'm also going to try. So I had red mica, same red I used in that pour, silver mica, black pigment paste, and white pigment paste. And I waited till the resin was around, I think it was there 30. I think the black was at 32.5 to 33. As you can see, it's getting thicker there because I knew I didn't want it very fluid. I wanted it to stay where I poured it. I think I'll put that on the black there. Yep, there's like 32.5 to 33. So I figured if this didn't work out, it could always go in the trash, but it wasn't going anywhere looking the way it did. So I poured the pigment paste there in the center. As you can see, it is very thick. You don't need a lot. I think I started off with 1.35 ounces and never put any more on there. I just kind of tease it out to the edges with the silicone brush. And if you look at the edges of the crystals, you can see where the latex is sitting, protecting. Like nothing was going to touch those crystals because they're covered with the liquid latex. And then you just pull the latex off at the end. And there I'm just using the silicone brush to drag it into the little edges. So far, so good. I'm spreading the paste around the edges. I could have speed ramped this, but just wanted you to kind of see the process in the beginning. I will speed ramp later on a little bit. You don't even need it to be that thick. We just needed a base here for me to drizzle the other colors onto, because I've learned they have to have liquid to move against if you want them to move. Just added a tad more there in the center. I didn't even have this on a level table, but it still worked. There again, just teasing it in. As you can see how thick that resin is, I just started drawing little lines with my little mixing tool there. Just random lines. I wasn't looking for any sort of design. I've seen people do it with acrylic and some with resin, where they flick silicone oil or they use a blow dryer to try and move the product around. I end up trying all of these and in the end result just end up painting things on. That was the best result, or it was a culmination of all the things I tried. There I'm just drawing little lines with the silver. And the silver and the red are mica powders. The white was a pigment paste, and usually when you have white pigment paste, you do get cells, even if you don't add anything to it. So now I took a blow dryer and just carefully tried to blow the colors around. When I've done this in the past, sometimes it works right away. Sometimes you have to do another layer on top of it and blow again. I knew I didn't want to keep blow drying it. And as you can see, it's really, really thick there. Might have waited too long to start to be blow drying it, but this was all an experiment to see how it turned out anyway. And I'm just turning it there to keep at it from blowing from the outside to the in, or the center, outside to the center, so I don't have it go again over the crystal edges. Not trying to be sloppy here. So that wasn't working so good, so I went back to, now I take a toothpick and I'm dropping little lines of color, just kind of painting it in where I want it to go. As you can see, the colors are all kind of congregating on that upper left side. And I have to apologize that this got off center, but I was more concentrated on what I was doing than watching where the video was filming. It stays this way for a while, but you get the gist of what I'm doing. So I'm just taking the toothpick and dripping it in the color and drawing little lines, and there I start with the silver. There's no controlling where it's going to go, so again, this was all an experiment to see if it would turn out. I don't like the way blowing it with the heat gun, or it wasn't a heat gun, it was a dryer actually. It's just kind of too smushy looking there, so I keep adding more of the color, trying to get some kind of design out of it. And meanwhile, the resin is still getting thicker the longer I go. And here I'm taking a little bit of white. I know the white can overpower and it wasn't giving me cells, so I wasn't concentrating that much on the white, but just using it as a brighter color. Again, no rhyme or reason, just drawing it in. And there, I had taken the silicone oil and put it in a little dish and put it on the brush, and I'm just flicking the brush. And I should have zoomed in. If you look, you can see cells starting to form there. But again, I still need more color on that right-hand side. So now I'm speeding it up a bit because I'm just adding. You can see the cells there. They're kind of blooming, but the cells weren't doing it for me either. So I went back to painting colors. First the red, then the silver, trying to fill up the areas that had no color. And there a little bit of white. So I tried blow drying it once, tried the silicone oil, and now I'm just painting on top of it. Little tiny lines of color. Oh, there I moved into the center. I know you can't see it close up, but we do have a close up at the end, so you will be able to see what I did there, or when it's a finished piece. And again, just adding the colors in to fill up the blank spaces, random lines. It was starting to look pretty good. I was like, this is working. A great way to salvage a piece that doesn't work out so you don't have to throw it away. I can't wait to actually try this on more pieces. There I'm just moving some excess white, putting a little bit of heat on it to pop some bubbles. And here's the finished piece. I am so incredibly happy with how this turned out. It's so abstract, it looks like an acrylic painting on resin. And of course, our crystal edge round mold made it look especially beautiful. Get one for yourself today.